Found out about Salon Emotion a couple of years ago. It took me a couple of months of implementing it as a stylist behind the chair in my own company before I realized why I loved it so much. I was never the best at doing hair, and I was never the best at coloring hair when I graduated school. But I knew how to talk to people, and I knew how to create relationships. And what they described in this class was how to actually create a full relationship in steps, so that you were successful every time and so that you were more genuine. That is why I fell in love with this class. We have to know that our clients are changing, and what they want is going to change even faster moving forward. So we've got to jump on the train now to know what they want now so that we can move with them. Otherwise, we're going to lose them. And I think a lot of us are already feeling that. I think this is something we already know is happening, that we're losing people, but we don't know why. This program has a lot of that, why we're losing them. And it's a lot of the experience. It's how we're talking to them. I think it's a whole experience, and it's not only how we verbally talk to them, but how do we structure a salon that it feels good. Like when we walk in, do we lower their anxiety by where we place a station versus where we greet them? These little things may not seem like a huge deal, but how do you have somebody hold your hand as a stylist to grow you into these areas to be able to make that huge impact? Because in my town, I've got a small town. I've got 6 other salons that I can throw a stone at. I mean, I can see 3 of them out my windows. What am I willing to do that's so much different that I know can make that impact? Because if I just wanted to do hair, I could grab a mannequin. But I live off that relationship with my guests. I need to know that I'm going to walk away fulfilled at the end of every day, and that my guest is fulfilled and has that experience that I have too. A couple of things that just hit me right off the bat is rebooking. So now I'm teaching people 5 months out of school to have a 70% rebook rate because of this. Our team went from roughly a 68% overall to, after Salon Emotion, we're now running 86% as an overall. It's a 26% growth in about a year and a half. I feel like that's a pretty large margin to run with. With our retail sales, we actually had a huge change just in a 1-month time frame. So Salon Emotion touches on a couple of things. We touch on what's different in our industries. We touch on how to actually set up the salon itself. And then we touch on the client journey to be able to create it as a never-ending, cohesive feeling, which feels good to us too. When you're a creative soul, you can't sell things. It's not a thing for us. It's got to feel good. So being able to make it cohesive makes it an easy dance, so to speak. Setting up the salon was something that I never learned in beauty school. One of the things that they taught in Salon Emotion was how to make a clean retail presentation. The month that I did that, we grew 7%. Just by changing our shelves and setting up some menus. That was a recommendation from the program. What I find the most with going into Salon Emotion when I get in the classroom is we have all those little voices in our head that says that we can't talk to guests or we're not good enough with hair. Like, those are the 2 things that I feel like come out in every class. And by the time we get to the end of the class, what we realize is we just haven't learned how to speak to people. We just haven't learned some of the statistics that we go through. And when you get a statistic, you learn how to change it, which is such a cool thing to watch that dynamic happen. What I have seen Salon Emotion become so far has been so powerful beyond what I expected.